So I wake up. I go outside. All right. Get some wood, as you probably would see. All of a sudden, the I get this high frequency ring, in my ears. I'm like I'm outside, and I'll say, right on the road here, where I was, got my wood. And then I hear someone say, "What the fuck's going on? This guy's not dead yet." Right? And then the woman starts crying because what am I supposed to do? Because they need wood. That's these people here, right? Now it's either those people or it's someone fucking with those people that are watching me. Because these people, this one's watching me. The other guy over here, he's not home right now, but he's got, I don't know, someone behind his house. There's three people that kind of keep an eye on me. They're not my friends. They're not family. They're talking about, so I wake up half asleep. They're talking about the store down in West Fairleigh and the Cumberland Farms. And they're talking about this little store, some little old little store near, what is it, Cumberland Farms there. And they're talking about the storekeepers. I don't know who these people are talking about them. I'm here listening on this channel. It was just on the last Under Attack thing. And I'm paying attention. Something about they're lesbians. And one of them's having an orgasm in the store right now. I don't know why they're saying this. I don't quite get what the purpose is behind this mentality of these individuals doing this. I mean, are they playing around with each other, like joking? Or do they actually think this? Because they're talking like they're observing everyone inside their residence with this smart grid surveillance system that allows you to listen to these little bugs or smart meters on the side of a house. And these people doing this apparently are just going around haphazardly, like visiting people to see who's home, see what's happening, and then yelling at them. This is what they're doing up here. Now I'm listening to this, unless it's a bunch of made-up stuff, but I'm half asleep listening to this on this that I keep playing over here. The little sound. You can't really make it out, but if I turn this up, $20,000 went into all this stuff. I don't know what they're talking about. Someone's running a covert operation up here. They have covert code messages. They talk very covertly. There's signals in the atmosphere. Every once in a while, the ground gets very electric, as though they're transmitting like a signal, long range, maybe to Russia, Soviet Union, Middle East, right? And I hear them occasionally say, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm trying to talk to someone on this long-range communicator till I'm finished with the conversation." And they're having like conversations as though nobody hears them, which is the oddest thing, that these people think nobody hears them. But I hear them. They hear me, though, because there's one guy, I guess, one person watches one person in the area, or 3 people, 5 people at one time. And like a lot of people may work, so maybe I'm the only one home besides these people. There might be one other home with someone home up here in the mountains, right? You could hear these people yelling and screaming sometimes in this trailer down there. You could actually hear. You could actually hear it. The wires right here, the left, those wires, they will, in the summertime, they will emanate a very high frequency sound, like guitar strings. Right? Very high pitched, non-stop, to the point it becomes irritating, and your ears actually will start to ring, and create this ringing in your ears, like a tinnitus, which they use to communicate and harass you. You know, they're listening right now. They get very quiet when I start rambling, and then when I stop, they start harassing again. You know, but I keep telling people, you know, you don't notice it unless you're aware. I notice because I'm here every day. I'm aware of it. If I got up and went to work, I wouldn't notice it. If I went to work, at work, I might feel kind of like, gee, what's odd around work today? You know, sometimes it feels like there's a heat coming from, you touch something metallic and it's like ice cold, but there's a energy that emanates from it. It's not a shock. It's like an energy that vibrates your skin and makes your skin kind of feel hot, but not hot, like a pressure on it or something. I don't know. It's kind of odd, you know, like an electrical field, like it's a RF field, you know. You could actually feel the electricity coming out of items in my home here, you know, like wood or plastic. It just resides right on it as a static field, you know, of energy. They use this static field to send and retrieve information, like 2 iPhones. And as long as you maintain it, you have this two-way conduit of communication that exists. Right? I could hear them right now. They're kind of giggling and laughing because they know no one's going to do nothing. They're like, yeah, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. Another guy's going, what the hell's going on? He's still walking. I thought that electric pulses would mess up his leg muscles and he wouldn't be able to walk. And the other guy's going, what the hell's going on? I thought we were going to get our drug business up and running again. I need to take a trip down to Florida to pick up some products. When are we going to get rid of him? He's such a bothersome person. Right? Because they want to have a world where everyone's doing drugs. You know? And then, of course, all the produce goes bad everywhere very fast. The beer, these nitwits drink beer and they're already destroying their own beer now because Budweiser ain't what it used to be anymore. You know, they hear them laughing. You got to hear these guys in the background. This is so awesome, he said. He sounds crazy, he said. They call it a smog, electromagnetic smog meter. Type that in on your YouTube search. Go to YouTube. Type in electromagnetic smog meter. Okay. Now this is a meter that detects this field of energy, right? It's kind of like a radon, but it's an electromagnetic field that's stabilized when it's powered up. People try to contact the electric companies, but they deny the existence of it, and they just talk to the citizens like you're crazy. You know, they don't want to admit that there's a problem. You know, when there is obviously a problem. You know, they just don't want to admit it. Some people don't feel it. If you're not home when you're out and about, you really won't feel it. If it doesn't accumulate around your house, like I'm a target. Plus, these power lines are set up in such a way that I'm very close to very high power, right? This is high power right in front of my house, which was right there that burnt down, right? Used to be right there. Berkshire Power Grid. Yeah, that's like a search. I knew about this 10 years ago when I started doing this because I started detecting the interference. I don't listen to ham radio anymore because you can't pick up a signal 1,000 miles away. All you pick up are these power lines humming. Now on this other channel, this is the induced channel. This is a channel that you hear that's induced onto the power lines. Kind of like bleed over that you would get on a CB that bleeds to a TV. And like the old days. This is a little different. This is a signal that bleeds from the power lines onto, say, electronic components, like even a speaker. If you put your stereo on and you turn it on and you put it on auxiliary, but turn the volume up with no input, right? And just kind of listen to that hum that comes from the stereo. You can hear a very slight kind of, it sounds like someone's talking or a comm channel. That's the channel they're using now, okay? But they're also inducing high frequency. Go to the power, go to your AM radio, turn that on, and listen. Static like you wouldn't believe, right? Some FM stations might come in, but other are like static like you wouldn't believe, right? Pull your car in front of your driveway if you're near power lines and put your radio on. Listen to it. Then back out, drive down the road, and then it disappear. That's what I notice. I come home, pull in right where my van is. I pull in. My radio will start going. Right? And then all of a sudden, it'd be like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The signal will go right into my computer in my vehicle because it's a quasi-static magnetic signal that's developed as a fractal signal that analyzes electronics and then communicates directly with it somehow. Now, what happened with my truck is all of a sudden, my speedometer starts shooting way up to 40, and my lights start flashing on and off in the dash. Right? And I get an error code on my computer light, check engine light. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm looking, these people are watching me from down the road right here. They're pointing stuff right at me whenever I come and go. So I don't know if they were pointing something at my truck's computer. But I look out the window and I look up like they're doing Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I'm like, so, when the sign is shaking, and the guy's sitting at the light and his lights are flashing, all of a sudden the flying saucer shoots over top of him. I'm like, where's the flying saucer? I didn't see one because I know what it is. It's the electrical power lines are so powerful that they're actually interfering with the computer on my truck. It's what it does. They can shut down cars right on the highway or on the road. If they analyze it and they find the glitch that they can easily get into, certain cars might be more susceptible than others, and they will just zap it down, shut it down, And then once they do that, then you've got a failure, your car stalls, could have an accident. Like my truck was running perfect, had a little tranny problem. I back it out. The tire blows and the brakes go. Now, this is odd. If that had happened to me driving down the road, if my tire blew and then I went to hit the brakes and I had no brakes, okay? Now, someone could say, no one would sabotage a vehicle. That never happened. And I say, you're right. It only happened 5 times. Probably would never happen a 6th. There's no way it would happen 6 times. Maybe 5, yeah. 4, definitely. 3 for sure, But 6 times? No way. No way. 6 times in 15 years? There's no way that would happen, So there's an element up here in the mountains of Vershire, Vermont. There's a criminal activity. There's organized crime. These guys are very covert. They'll probably hide like that little white spot way out in the distance right there. You look at the telephone pole, the little tree right there. There's a little tree. You'll go over to the right. There's a little white spot. That's probably a house where one of them hide. That looks right down on my house, right? You go all the way over to the left where there's a bunch of trees, the power lines. You look down that little hill ridge. That's another spot. There's a house up there. Those are way up in the hills now, right? This is called the high vantage point. It's what they refer to themselves as 3 years ago. Hi, we're at the high vantage point, Cullinan. We're going to burn you up. They don't know why I'm not dead. You know why I'm not dead? Because I hide in the basement. I have all this stuff protecting me, my body, right? This Mylar, these foam panels, these metal panels, right? I'm all hidden behind all this stuff to stop the signal, diffuse it, reflect it, right? To somehow absorb it. And they keep pumping it in. And all I hear them say, this ain't working. This ain't working. I don't understand. This ain't working. And this is all they say, right? They use iPhones. That's their main communication source up here. This laser network with iPhones and the walkie-talkie network. And they use this 1.7 gig network that the military uses and law enforcement. They hacked into that. Plus, there's Coverage Co. up here in the middle of nowhere, right? Which is used in the prisons, you know, Sentry Security. Contact your loved ones in jail, right? Now, when I got in a little bit of a skiff while in holding area, guess who was there? The same signal on the power lines. And guess who they were talking to? They were communicating with me. You know what they were telling me to do? They were telling me to clap. Why don't you clap, Joe? They'd say. Why don't you clap? I'm like, what are you, out of your fucking mind? You know, why the fuck do I want to clap? Now, I didn't say that out loud. I laid in my bunk with my thumbs in my ears, pressed really hard, and you can hear the induced electrical signal, EVP, go into your neck. And they obviously can hear my transmitted signal from the
little voice box down here is my voice box. This puts out a signal right now that this individual can hear. This signal is transmitted and picked up on the power grid.
Now that signal right there, that's from my throat. You know? That actually gets transmitted. Now it comes out maybe as sound. I mean, not sound, but as like a voice to text. So they might get like a printout that says words that's trained, like Dragon Natural Speaking. But then it will convert it back to from text to like a voice. It might be like a robot voice. This is me. And so they might get like a robotic type of sound, unless they overlay the voice print on top of that to make it sound like me or anyone else they want. Now, this is going on. No one seems to quite care or know or understand. I don't know why they're still going. I can't quite get it. This is a big change from 3 years ago and from 6 years ago and from 12 years ago. This group has moved up very slowly. I can hear one of them right now kind of laughing, like nervous laugh. Like they don't think they're going to get caught. I keep telling them. I called the NSA, the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, the FEMA. I called Homeland Security. I called, the manufacturer of the meters. I called. I sent an email to. So we got an issue with these meters. They're hacking into homes, smart grid, and they're actually hacking into homes. You know, hacking into computers. I contacted the state of Vermont's Public Service Board. I told them. They don't know. Even after I telling them, they're like, no. We talked to the electric company, and they said there's nothing wrong with them. And I'm like, don't you understand? That's where the damn fucking spies are. They're in the electric company. This is the Ukraine software. This is the Ukraine. You know, Ukraine, that's Yugoslavia. That's the Ukraine, you know? They don't understand. No. The firestorm is coming and nobody understands, right? Paul Revere, right? He had to ride around yelling and screaming. Do you think people listen to him? You know? Probably not. That's that.